Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, everybody? John here, and it's time to talk about the SaberForms Anakin V2 lightsaber. And the lightsaber will be mailed in, and it will be included in this box right here. And the cool thing about this box is this is just for Star Wars fans that will appreciate this, because it's got the Orabesh lettering and it spells out Saber. And just looking at that, I'm like, man, this is some cool Star Wars writing that they have for this. And it got me excited just to check out what's inside. And as you open it inside, it comes with the hilt, it comes with the blade, it comes with all the tools to help assemble the blade together. And instruction manuals, it's there too. The instruction manual does feel a bit bare bones, but there's enough information to let you know how to handle the lightsaber, and that includes, you know, turning it on, turning it off, changing the volume, changing the colors of the blade, changing the sound fonts, etc. And as you mess around with it, it can be overwhelming at first. So here is the lightsaber, and this is the Anakin V2. And I would say it's very close, like just the style. It's a very close replica of the lightsaber, especially just with the switch and then with the grip and just the top part here. And it's got a nice weight to it, nice smooth finish. And you can just touch it, but then your fingerprints will be on there. And so I would just like wipe it every now and then with a cloth. And let's talk about the Neopixel. This has the Neopixel blade. So with that, it's got like an LED strip that goes from the bottom to the top. And what that does is it helps with the light just being uniform throughout. And also just having that cool ignition lightsaber effect. So for example, just having it slowly go to the top and slowly going back. And then also, yeah, just looking at it, it's very uniform. And if you compare it to this lightsaber, this Luke Skywalker lightsaber that is the RGB baselit, where the light is coming from here, so it's not uniform. You see the light. Look, see how it's like brighter at the bottom, and then it sort of fades away to the top. It's still bright, it's still good, but it's not uniform from bottom to top. And with this, the lightsaber comes with 27 fonts, and the first one is the Ahsoka one, and the last one is Vader, and it also includes other sound fonts, including Starkiller, and it also has Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Mace Windu, Kestis, etc. So many sound fonts. And they're all contained inside the micro SD card. And so what I've done with this lightsaber, I've already made changes to it with the micro SD card. And from 27 sound fonts, I've reduced it down to like around 22, just because there are other sound fonts from other Jedis that, for me personally, I don't really care for them. But I'm pretty sure there are fans of the other Jedis that are as seen in Clone Wars, etc. But for me, I like the main ones, the main guys, you know, like with Anakin, with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, and Darth Maul. And so those are still in here. And I also made some changes with some of the way when you switch to sound fonts, it would have some kind of cue to let you know, like, this sound font belongs to this character. So I made some changes to that. And I also made some changes to the background music. And I also added some really cool, fun sound fonts from other properties like RoboCop and Godzilla, just because it's so customizable. It's a lot of fun. And so with the SD card, the micro SD card, to take it out, you just have to unscrew it here. And this is it. This is the chassis with the soundboard and the battery. And then you have the USB charging right here. So it should take around 2 hours to charge, and you would have 4 hours to mess around, play with the lightsaber. And that's the SD card right here. And as you can see, it's kind of tricky to get it out because it's tucked in there. And then, so yeah, you got to just pull it out and make sure it doesn't fall inside, because it's going to be tricky once it's inside to get it out. So you got to mess around with it upside down and wiggle it around, and then have it just pop right out onto your hand. And there, you can use the micro SD card to make changes to the sound fonts. And to put it back in, you got to do that whole zigzag thing. Like you insert it on the other side first, kind of like when you're trying to move in with a couch, with a new couch in the house. So it's kind of like that. So with this, you insert it on the other side first, and then you try to like just maneuver it into the slot, the micro SD slot. But it is possible, but it's very tricky with the way the chassis has been designed. But what I do like about this chassis is that you can charge it, you can take it out, you can mess with the batteries, etc. And you can like totally remove this from the lightsaber, so it's not attached to it with wires. And so it has these connectors here that just makes it so convenient. And that's what I really like about this. Very convenient in charging and in just messing with the micro SD card. To make changes to the sound fonts, pretty easy. Just if you know how to copy and paste, if you know how to just change letters, make it so that it has the format of the proffie files. And with that, it just takes a little bit of learning, but it's very easy to do. And then once you figure how to make changes to the sound fonts and make additions and all that, it becomes very addicting. Like for me, I like a lot of things. I like just stuff like RoboCop and Transformers and etc. And so of course I would want to try to add different types of sound effects to the lightsaber for that. And so it's just easy as creating a new folder for these new sound fonts, and also going to make changes to the config file to accompany those changes. And when you make changes to the actual lightsaber, it actually saves the changes, so that's pretty cool. I like that feature. And so yeah, with the soundboard, this uses the Anakin V4, and with that, it's got the new addition of the SD card, and it also has Bluetooth capabilities. And to turn it on, you hold the power button, which is on the top. So this one actually comes with 2 buttons, which I really like. So yes, top, hold it to turn it on.
Hello there.
Hello there. So I changed that too with the power on button. Before it would just say power on. And if you turn it off, it would say power off. You click it 3 times to turn it off.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Turning it back on.
Hello there.
And I have Obi-Wan Kenobi saying hello there. And so, just press it once to turn it on. Yeah, so it's really bright. And it's got the posing effect. And with this, you can also have background music. So I've been addicted with just having the background music play, and then having the lightsaber effect. Just everything together. It feels like the whole package. Yeah, so this is the Darth Maul sound font. And wait, to change the sound font, you just press the bottom button here to change the sound font.
Dark Sith Red.
Dark Sith Red. Next up, the Emperor. And then his music. And for the music, all you gotta do is hold the lightsaber down, and then you hold the auxiliary button, which is the bottom button here, and then you twist it to have the music play. And let's see the next font.
Then we better get ready for a fight.
Kestis. And then with the background music, I added the background music because I wasn't a fan of what was initially in the presets. And I also added the opening song that was in the first video game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Next up, Yoda. So I changed the Yoda font, the introduction font, because before it would say Yoda, but now it's just I have him just laughing. But yeah, with this, the volume, you can actually change the volume by clicking the two buttons together. But it's kind of easy. You just press the center button and it'll act like pressing the two colors. So you can do all the way down until it's muted. So it's muted. And then all the way higher, so that's the loudest as possible for this. And then press the center button again to set it. Now it's set. Here we go. Next up.
I am Revan!
So here's the different sound font for that one. With the Revan, I decided to have the Knights of the Old Republic song. Next up.
I'll show you the dark side.
So yeah, I changed the font cue for this one for Kylo Ren. And his background music. Alright, next up we have...
It just isn't fair.
Luke Skywalker. So I definitely edited that. But here's Luke. And for the music for Luke, since he's in the OG trilogy, I had to have two songs, two background music added to his sound font. Here's the first one. And the next one, come on, this is a classic. Yeah, so that is Luke's. Next up, we have...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
So before it was a different one for Mace Windu, and so I just used a line from Pulp Fiction to add it in here, and here we go. Mace Windu. And with Mace Windu, for the music, I decided to use the popular Pulp Fiction song. And let's see what we have next.
I am told it is the dark saber.
It's Mando talking about the dark saber. And yeah, there's the four-song clash for this, and then you also have the thrust with the melting, and then you also have the drag effect, which I can do here. Turn it on, hold the top button, and then hit something. And that's the drag effect. And then for the music with Mando, I had to have the Mando theme. Next up.
Hello there.
Hello there. Obi-Wan Kenobi. And with this music. Battle of the Heroes. Next up. Godzilla. And so this one, there was already a preset that had that sound of the with the ignition, and so I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna make this full Godzilla, well, for the most part. And so with the Godzilla, you have the Godzilla sound when I changed it to the font, and here we go. This is where he does the atomic breath, charging it up. And then for the music, yeah, I had to add that in. Next up we have
Scruffy looking nerf herder.
Leia. I changed the the sound font switch cue with that one. And then the preset music actually had one of her songs, so I kept that in there. Here's the other one. And next up we have Vader. So I changed the switch with that one. Originally it was the just saying Vader, and now I just have his breathing. And the music, I didn't like the preset music that they had in this, so I changed it to this. And, oh yeah, so let's have the music play with the lightsaber turned on. Alright, next up.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yeah, so I added RoboCop with the music. And then here's the blade. Oh yeah, so as the blade is turned on, you can just press the auxiliary button to have the hit the blaster sound effects. Like with the regular saber, you have the blaster sound effects, but with the RoboCop, I added some gunshot fires, you know, because people are trying to shoot RoboCop. All right, next up we have
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Evil Dead. And with Evil Dead, since it's an old school movie, I decided to just have like an old school song. And then so a lot of these sound fonts, you're able to get them for free online. And there are also sound fonts that are sold, so you gotta like buy them. Or you can just do what I did for some of these and just look for sound effects online and just mess around with the micro SD card. Yeah, so it's just really cool with these lightsabers. So, and up next we have... Yeah, someone had a cat sound font, so I used that. But then I decided to change the music to the Nyan Cat song. And then the cat sound effects. Alright, next up. Zelda. And yeah, I just used different Ocarina of Time sound effects for this one. And let's get the sword ready. And then, of course, with the Zelda music, I have to have this. And also this. Alright, next up.
Autobots, roll out.
Optimus Prime. Let's turn on the blade. Let's just turn it off. And then with the music, gotta have some Transformers music. Yeah. What else do I have on here?
You son of a bitch.
I had to have the Predator one because there was one of the ignition presets in this one that sounded like the Predator sound. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just have a whole Predator sound font. So with that, you know, you gotta have the music. And then yeah, for the different sound fonts, there's the humming file, and you can change the humming file. So for this, with the hum file, I just had the sound effects of the Predator in heat vision mode, and so you can hear it here. You get the sights ready. That's so creepy. I love it. All right, what do we have next? I think Predator might be the last one that I've added on this. Yeah, so Ahsoka's the first one on the set. Very bright. And then her music, I had to use, since the Ahsoka show just came out, I had to use the theme song for that one. And then we didn't talk about Anakin, so here's Anakin's.
You underestimate my power!
So I changed that. Before it was like a different sound, so I decided to use that one. And here we go. But it sounds cool when you have the background music and then you start up the lightsaber. Yeah, so I just want to go back to Darth Maul and play his background music.
At last we will have revenge.
Yeah, so yeah, this is just cool. There's the Force on Clash, the humming sound, swinging. Let's do the clash. And then the dragging. That was the dragging effect. You can change the effects by having it off and then holding the auxiliary, holding it up.
Unstable.
So now it's unstable. And next up with the blade effect.
Cracked blade. Wave.
Here's the wave.
Cross.
Cross. All right, next up.
Shattered blade.
Shattered blade.
Fire blade.
Fire blade.
Steady.
Steady. And so this one just... And the pulse is the one I like to use for regular lightsabers. This is it.
Pulse.
And then when you hold the top button, it changes the ignition.
Broken ignition. Photon ignition.
Photon.
Stacked ignition.
Stack.
Join ignition. Scattered ignition. Delayed ignition. Hunter ignition.
Hunter ignition, which is where I got the inspiration to make the Predator sound font.
Hunter stacked ignition. my G ignition.
Oh my G. OMG. And my favorite is the rev engine ignition.
Engine rev ignition. Standard ignition.
And a standard one. But yeah, now let's talk about the app. So I'm able to connect this with the Android app. And recently, the Apple app was made available. And let's hook this up.
Connected.
So yeah, you can hear, once it's connected, the lightsaber will say it's connected. And here are the different controls. You have the on-off. Press it off. And you can lock up. You can do the drag button. You can also do the blaster sound here. Clash. The Force.
Lost.
And you can do the infinite color. You can do the step color. And then you can also do the background music on this. And with this, you can change the sound font, you can change the volume, the light effect, ignition effect, etc. You can also change the clash sensitivity and a twist sensitivity, because I mentioned it was a little too sensitive. So let's change it to 5. Let's see if that helps a bit. There you go. 5's better. So with this having 2 buttons makes it easier to control and to change the lightsabers, but with the app, with the Bluetooth, it makes it even easier, and you can just add more customizations compared to just trying to do it with the 2 buttons here. And so yeah, there's just a lot of cool features with this, but yeah, I do want to talk about just some of the gripes I have with this. It includes the way the micro SD card is inside the chassis, so it's a bit hard to try to pull it out. And then also sometimes, when you're messing with this, there's a lot of different parts on this, and so this one would usually come loose, so you just gotta really tighten it. And this one kind of popped out before, so I just had to tighten it. So just make sure everything's tighten everything, and it should be good. And also with the screw, make sure it's tight too when you put it together, so that when you hit it, it's pretty sturdy. But yeah, so overall, very fine piece of equipment from SaberForms with the Anakin V2 lightsaber. Definitely cool. Like, I've been enjoying this. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.